the greatest fraud in Silicon Valley history. Imagine a world where a single drop of blood could diagnose hundreds of diseases, eliminating painful needles, expensive lab tests, and long hospital wait times. It sounded like something out of science fiction, and in 2003, a young Stanford dropout named Elizabeth Holmes promised to turn this dream into reality. With a black turtleneck, a deep voice, and a relentless vision, she positioned herself as the next Steve Jobs. Billionaires lined up to invest. Former US Secretaries of State joined her board. The media declared her the youngest self-made female billionaire. There was just one problem. It was all a lie. In this video, we're diving into Bad Blood, the book by investigative journalist John Carreyrou, which exposes the truth behind Theranos, one of the biggest corporate frauds in history. We'll uncover how Elizabeth Holmes built a billion-dollar company on deception, the whistleblowers who risked everything to reveal the truth, the shocking downfall that led to criminal charges, and the collapse of Theranos. And by the end of this video, you'll understand the key lessons that entrepreneurs, investors, and innovators must learn to avoid repeating this disaster. Let's dive in. The rise of Theranos, a vision too good to be true. In 2003, Elizabeth Holmes dropped out of Stanford University at just 19 years old. She had a bold vision to create a medical device that could run hundreds of tests using only a few drops of blood. The promise, the Theranos device, called Edison, was supposed to revolutionize healthcare. It would replace expensive, time-consuming lab tests with a quick, portable machine. Instead of vials of blood, all it needed was a finger prick, saving time, money, and lives. Early success investors were mesmerized by Holmes's confidence. Theranos raised over $700 million from high-profile backers. The company's valuation soared to $9 billion. Making Holmes the world's youngest female billionaire. But beneath all the hype, something was terribly wrong. The lies behind the technology, a house of cards. While the world believed Theranos had game-changing technology, behind closed doors it was a ticking time bomb. The Edison device didn't work. The Edison machine couldn't perform most of the tests, Holmes claimed. It produced false results, leading to misdiagnoses and life-threatening errors. Instead of fixing the problem, Theranos faked test results to appear functional, deception of investors and business partners. Holmes told investors and board members that the device was undergoing FDA approval, which was a lie. Walgreens partnered with Theranos and rolled out testing centers in their stores. But Theranos secretly used traditional lab machines to process blood samples, misleading patients and doctors, a culture of fear and secrecy. Employees who questioned the technology were threatened with lawsuits. Holmes and COO Sunny Balwani created an atmosphere of paranoia. Staff were constantly monitored, emails were deleted, and employees were fired for speaking up. Theranos was built on lies. But no fraud lasts forever. The whistleblowers who exposed Theranos. Despite Theranos' secrecy, a few brave individuals risked everything to expose the truth. Tyler Schultz, the board member's grandson, who spoke out. Tyler was the grandson of George Schultz, a former US Secretary of State and a Theranos board member. After noticing errors in the lab results, he realized the company was lying. When he confronted Holmes, he was threatened with lawsuits and pressured by his own grandfather. Erica Chung, the employee who refused to stay silent. Erica, a Theranos lab worker, noticed severe flaws in the testing process. She reported the fraud to health regulators, despite knowing she could be sued or blacklisted in the industry. John Carreyrou, the journalist who brought the truth to light. Carreyrou, a Wall Street Journal reporter, received anonymous tips about fake lab results. He conducted a year-long investigation uncovering the biggest corporate fraud Silicon Valley had ever seen. His exposé triggered a federal investigation and Theranos' downfall. Theranos could no longer hide. The fall of Theranos, from billionaire to criminal charges. Once the truth was exposed, Theranos crumbled overnight. Walgreens pulled out, destroying the company's credibility. Investors lost millions as Theranos' valuation collapsed. Federal regulators launched criminal investigations. Elizabeth Holmes and Sunny Balwani faced justice. Holmes and Balwani were charged with fraud for misleading investors, doctors, and patients. In 2022, Holmes was convicted and sentenced to over 11 years in prison. Balwani received a longer sentence for his role in the deception. The Silicon Valley fairy tale had turned into a nightmare. The key lessons from the Theranos scandal. The Theranos fraud wasn't just a scandal, it was a warning to the world. 1. The dangers of blind faith in founders. Investors were blinded by Holmes's charisma and ignored red flags. Vision alone isn't enough. You need real technology to back it up. 2. Transparency and accountability are critical. A culture of secrecy and fear is a sign of deception. Companies must encourage open communication, not silence critics. 3. Always verify, never assume. Investors didn't demand proof, they believed Holmes' words. If a product sounds too good to be true, it probably is. The lesson: innovation should be built on truth, not lies. If you found this story fascinating, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more deep dives into business, fraud, and innovation. And if you want to learn about other major startup scandals, check out our next video, where we uncover WeWork's shocking rise and fall. Click it now, I'll see you there.